is Shalay and welcome back to my YouTube channel. On this channel we discuss all things spirituality, multidimensionality, and even extraterrestrials, and that was Amani Jen's attempt to try and niche herself. Today was one of those days that completely went to shit, I'm not gonna lie. You know when you have all those plans and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get this done, it's gonna be a productive day, and you've like planned out your day, and usually I'm pretty good with like getting up early and doing my practices, but I do not know what happened to me this morning. I could not get up for the life of me. I had a coaching call at 7 a.m. and I woke up at 7:20, and I was even contemplating going back to sleep, and I was like, no, just do it while lying here. It's absolutely not like me, but in my last video, I spoke all about affirmations and doing subliminals. Honestly, I feel like that's what's been doing it to me. I feel like my subconscious mind is just like hyper aware and not really resting. Apparently this phase passes when you start to listen to affirmations while going to sleep, so I'm waiting to go past this like messy stage. I literally even slept on the couch last night so that I could listen to the subliminals and I could just have them playing. I don't want to annoy my partner with that. It is 10:30 a.m. This is like so late for me. I do not start my day at this time. I literally have my coffee at like 6:30, 7 a.m. I used to be so rigid with my morning practices, and just with how every day looked, like particularly when I first started my awakening and I was really consistent with like meditation and breath work, while that was necessary for a certain period in my life, not every day is going to look like that. But what would happen is I'd wake up on a day where maybe I didn't feel like doing it, or I would like sleep in and it's just totally out of my hands. But I would literally sit there judging myself. I would sit there getting down on myself. I would already start the day feeling like I had failed before I had even begun doing anything. And it was just such a toxic cycle. And I've been on this journey of reprogramming it this year. So while I'm saying today started off really messy, yes, it started off messy, I don't have the same mentality towards it. Like, I'm not getting angry at myself. I'm not rushing or over hustling and making myself work harder. I'm literally taking it slower, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't had my coffee. I need to do that. I wanted to get ready. And I've honestly just been chilling with the day because not every day looks the same. Consistency is such an illusion. I just allow myself to flow. And this is how I also treat my practices. So when I do like my rituals, my spiritual routines that I love to do, like this is a choice. I fucking love to do it, but they're not rigid. I call it like a toolbox. So I'll have like a reprogramming toolbox. I teach this in my main program that I run, Multidimensional Living. So I have like a reprogramming toolbox, and then I'll have a self-awareness toolbox, and I'll pick things from those toolbox to do every single day. So I'm not doing the things. There are like a couple of things that I'm very consistent on, like affirmations and meditation. Those are the two things I will do religiously, just because I believe that those things, it's the accumulative effect of those things. I've seen the most transformation in my life. Honestly, the dogs give it up. Every single time I try to do like I'll do like a shot where I'm walking in, the dogs are just staring at me and like following where I'm going. They're not show dogs yet, they'll get with it. You know, the first sip of coffee, this is one of the things that I am forever grateful for. I will never listen to anyone that tells me to stop drinking coffee. Because I haven't been able to do my practices this morning, I really want to make some time for some reprogramming work, so some journaling on this limiting belief that's been coming up, that's been chewing at my mind, and I feel like it needs my attention. So I'm going to do some EFT on it. I'm going to do some journaling. I learned this really cool journaling technique from Jana. She actually gives it away as free information. If you look at her lives on her Instagram page, Jana Kingsford is one of my favorite people at the moment. I am just binging all of her content. I was meant to actually be attending a live that she's running right now, but because my day hasn't gone to plan, I'm not going to do that live. I'm just going to attend to the thoughts that are on my mind at the moment. The internet is really a beautiful place when you're mindfully consuming, right? When you're not allowing the content to consume you, you are choosing what you consume. When you go on social media, I'm a massive advocate for like energy work, right? Energy work is just everything that I do. I'm so fascinated with the energetics of everything. And after being a psychic and doing the readings, I've experienced energy on a whole new level. So I'm really serious with my energetic practices. And something I've noticed from being doing on social media is we're not only consuming that piece of content that that person has made, we are consuming their energy. We are consuming their beliefs, their thought, their energy. Obviously, this is not happening on a big scale, but it's still happening, and we have to be mindful of that. Now that I've mentioned it, notice your behavior and your demeanor after you actually go off of social media. When you've had some time scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, you'll end up like, self-doubt starts to spiral, all of your limited beliefs start to come to the surface. It happens like clockwork. It's crazy. And then when you actually create space, when you only mindfully consume, like you go on going, okay, I'm going to do it for this intention. I'm going to go look at this person's stuff because they inspire me and blah, 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 whatever it is. I told you about this in my last video, but I created an affirmations track, and honestly, it has been so profound. I've seen so many changes in my physical reality and in myself since doing this track. It's probably been about a week since doing this like regularly, every single night, morning and night. I've been listening to affirmations because as you're sleeping, you're in the theta brainwave state, and that state is where all of our beliefs exist. That's where all of our subconscious reprogramming exists. Our subconscious mind creates 95% of our reality. So when we can change our beliefs, and this is why people always go on about affirmations and doing the limiting belief work, because if you can change your belief, then you can change your reality. You can change what you experience. And honestly, I've seen things shifting in my physical reality almost instantly, like calling in more money and just crazy things happening within just like a couple of days of doing this morning and night. My track goes for about 1 hour and 12 minutes to be exact. Some new beliefs have come online and I'm going to actually add them to the track. So if you want to learn how to do that, I did a little mini tutorial in my last video. So I'll link that here and you can go check that out after this video. But it's so, so, so powerful. I highly recommend doing this. Also, you don't need to do it like this. You don't need to do like the whole shebang. You can just film straight onto your computer. But because I've got an issue with sounds, misophonia, and I have this set up because I do have a podcast, why not, right? Why not utilize it? All right, I'm gonna add my new affirmations to the soundtrack and then I'll be back with you. I used to be so scared about vlogging in public, but honestly, I just don't care anymore. I'm like, what's the worst that they're going to think? Okay, yeah, she's filming herself. Yes, I am. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to a camera. A lot of our limiting beliefs are very much that we can't control what people think of us. People are going to already have preconceived ideas on who we are based on their own experiences of the world, based on their own perceptions. And that's just something we can't control. And a matter of fact, it's none of our business what people think of us. As long as your relationship with yourself is strong and solid, then that's the only thing that matters. So it feels good to really be embodying that. So anyway, I've driven down to the Oval. That is honestly about a minute's walk from my house, if that. And I wish I was joking, but I have no excuse. I have a couple of people to get back to. I have to get back to my coach and I have to get back to the MDL girls. So MDL is the program that I run called Multidimensional Living. And I'm going to do it while grounding. I'm like, why not kill two birds, one stone? The sun is out, so I'm going to take advantage of it. There are so many physical benefits that they have found in studies from actually connecting to the Earth's surface, so actual skin to earth contact. I spoke about it in this video here, and you can go check that out as well. It is so, so, so powerful. For those those of you that haven't been acquainted with Monty yet, this is Monty the Python. I was just filming reels and I wanted to come on here and talk about this topic that I have recently integrated and now I'm teaching on because it has been a game changer to the way that I show up. This is targeted to every perfectionist ever. If you're a perfectionist, even in terms of like friendships, if you're the person that's like constantly filtering what you're saying and all of the things, if this is you, because this was me for a very long time. However, recently I feel like the universe has really put me to the test with this. I've been put into situations where I've had no choice but to be messy and to show up exactly myself, where I haven't had time to curate what I'm saying or to think about the words that I'm using and just to show up. I've also recently been connecting to creators and teachers in this space who have been doing the same thing. I'm not kidding, guys. Like, they're selling programs for like thousands and thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars, and the content is like messy, it's all over the place, and I fucking love it. Bought a program the other day that was $600 AUD. The person had no structure, they had no flow to what they were doing, they were just riffing on the things that were coming to mind. It was like a little bit of structure but not quite. It was like raining outside, they were filming on their phone, and it was the messiest thing. However, this person is like literally a millionaire now, and being in that program and watching that content, not once was I like, oh my God, the quality is shit or the audio is shit or I want a refund. Not one fucking bit, because that person still showed up in their raw essence with who they really are, and the content that they were sharing was fucking incredible, and that was undeniable. It didn't matter about anything else. The content was so valuable, and that person embodied that energy. They knew that the content was so valuable that the rest didn't matter. I just hit her on the head. Sorry, babe. Could you not in my ear? I'm just gonna continue while she's doing whatever she's doing right now. But honestly, like, it was so liberating for me to see, and I had this realization, you know, so many of us get so hard on ourselves and we try to be perfect. We try to make every little thing perfect, but this person being messy and, you know, doing all of the things while still being a millionaire, while still having a successful business, what the fuck? Like, I'm sitting here trying to make sure that every little thing I say is perfect, that everything is well polished, and that's not even what I find attractive when I go look at content. I love people that are messy. I love people that are raw. I feel like I can relate to it because they're actually human. It just gives you permission to be human as well. Like, I feel like on social media we can really fall into this trap of trying to be like polished and everything to be perfect, because it really comes from a place of being scared to be judged. I've done some work on this myself. You know, it's this scarcity around what people will say. So you try to be as perfect as possible, but then you come to the realization that people are gonna have opinions of you. It doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter how you show up. People are going to have their preconceived opinions on you, and it doesn't mean anything about you. It's just based on their programming and the way that they see the world. I actually just had this conversation with my coach at the moment as well. We were working through some limiting beliefs around my struggle in, you know, being myself on YouTube, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to be wasting people's time. That's like a limiting belief that I have. And she's like, you know, when you're sitting there and you're just riffing and you're messy and you just say the things, like, that's what makes you the most magnetic. That is what puts you in your power. That is what attracts your people to you. So, but I hope that that relieves some stress around the perfectionism cycle and actually helps you show up messy in any scenario. Like I said, whether it's a conversation, like that realness, that rawness, that's you. And that's what makes people want to connect to you as well. So the rest of the night was pretty chill. We ended up booking a Bali trip, which was super exciting. Finally, I also cleaned my space before going to sleep. This is something I always do. I do not skip out on this step. I used to, and then I would wake up in the worst mood because I just didn't feel set up for the day. So I really like to clean my space beforehand. It doesn't take too long. And finally, this particular night, I ended up going to sleep pretty late. So I did my breath work and meditation from my bed, which is something I actually don't recommend, particularly if you are new to meditation, because you're just going to drift off to sleep. So I think this particular night, I wasn't even meditating. I think I was doing a hypnosis particularly. So I was intentionally trying to fall asleep. When we are in our bed, we're naturally programmed to want to go to sleep, so it's only natural. Anyway, I'm gonna leave the video there. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.